Islam Sheikh Dwayne Buffett. I'm at Whole Foods. It's approximately, I just got off work. Right now I feel like I have to force cough. I just saw a pale skin walk by with a Navy emblem on his shirt. And I'm just giving it to remind myself of the time, because it just happened, and I feel like I have to force cough. Now, the pale skin that I just saw walk with a Navy emblem on his shirt or his jacket, this does not mean he is unnaturalized. So I don't know if he's naturalized or not. But if you are an unnaturalized military officer, it's easier for the corrupt banks to use you. And so, you know, corrupt banks also control hospitals and medical centers. Hospitals and medical centers make money off of sickness. In fact, when the COVID-19 situation happened, there were some hospitals that were, like when the patients died, an undercover detective found out that hospitals were putting COVID-19 as the reason why they died, because some of the hospitals, or a lot of the hospitals, were getting a stimulus check for each patient that they diagnosed for having COVID-19. So the hospitals, not all, because there's some, definitely there are medical centers that are definitely for healing, and they are the nurses, the doctors, they are in the employment or the occupation for healing. And then there are definitely some that are just trying to make a profit. And so when a bank that is corrupt is funding a hospital, and that bank wants that hospital to make money, because they did an undercover check. Some of the hospitals were definitely getting more stimulus checks for every patient that they said had COVID-19. And so imagine many misdiagnoses in reference to spirituality. Okay? So when you're dealing with forms of spirituality and mentalism, and not really having the ability to articulate what's going on, and so you say you definitely know that something or a energy, you have different realms and so forth that you experience, but you don't know how to articulate. But then you have those that do know, and they do know how to articulate. And so they use different forms of science. Okay, for instance, there's a science of sound. One of the things I was trying to articulate is try to have understanding before I'm going to complete this thought, is how does sound come from a record player? So you put a record on a machine or a record player, you put the needle on the record, and then you hear sound. Okay? So those that have learned how to manipulate sound can use that form of science to actually cause harm or to benefit Earth and the universe and humanity. So that goes along with other sciences. So you definitely, everything that has life has a spirit, some type of energy with it. So if you have learned how to manipulate a science where you can cause different energies to engage forcefully, and not only that, but cause them to become ill somehow, whether it's manipulating viruses, I'm not saying whatever, or diseases, then this is how, I always bring up the syphilis experiment in Alabama. So then you are corrupt and you're trying to make money, you can see how this can happen. But anyway, as I turned on my camera, like many times before, the experience of me having to force cough went away. Islam. So, and the reason why I say that is too, because it was a thought. As I was experiencing that, I saw I felt a forced cough coming about, and I don't wear a mask in Whole Foods. And as I was thinking that, a pale skin had walked by with the Navy emblem on his shirt. And I'm not accusing him. I don't know if he's naturalized or not. If you naturalized, then, you know, usually, not going to say it all, but predominantly you have taken an oath or affirmed to uphold the 13th Amendment with 20 sections, which state that Section 19, all men are free, forever free, and all parts of the Constitution. So, and so that's what your oath or affirm, or you have affirmed to do so. So, I don't know. But anyways, May the 18th, still 2022, and I'm getting ready to check out. Okay, it's long.